We are live. What is up, everyone? I hope everyone's having a absolutely phenomenal day. The Yankees pull off a really nice win. I thought that was, it's not going to be a season, a win that you say as your number one win of the season, most likely. But man, this is one of the better wins they've had all year, I think. And I understand that again. Are the Yankees quote unquote back? No, you're not really back if you win two series in a row, but does it feel good to win a series against one of the best teams in the American League when you're extremely shorthanded and in situations where you felt like you were out of the game when you're down 3-2 and you need hits and Harrison Bader is able to come up with that big double and Giancarlo Stanton adds on a really important insurance run? Yeah, that feels good. And that whole rally got started by a Volpe double, which also feels pretty good. He's starting to hit a little bit. Could that be something that he carries over confidence wise? If you can get, just one of these guys to really just go on a tear that isn't named Billy McKinney or Jake Bowers, you're going to be in a good spot. The pitching continues to be really well. The bullpen is phenomenal. I know that they had that, awful game, the first game where King comes in, he immediately blows the game. But this outing, King looked phenomenal. He looked like vintage Michael King. I thought there were a lot of positives, not just from this game, but from the series. We're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk about the series. We'll get into all that. And of course, we'll get into your guys' question, all that stuff. But Dylan, how are you feeling after that win? And kind of like first impressions, just kind of give me your thoughts here.
Right. So, I mean, like you said, it's not like this was like an amazing win, but this was a pretty good win. This was much better than the victory we got yesterday. The Yankees win yesterday was a 1-0 win. It didn't really feel like much because the offense continued to pretty much do nothing. And for like the first 8 innings of this game, it kind of felt like the same pattern. They were down 3-0 early. They got 2 runs back right away, but didn't capitalize on the opportunity that followed. And then they kind of were just quiet for innings 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Garrett Cole didn't have an amazing outing. It was kind of a grind. It was a bit of a long one for him. He threw well over 100 pitches. He gave up a couple runs, pitched about 4 2/3. He didn't even get a decision. It wasn't a pretty start, but I will say he did keep the Yankees in this game. He didn't like completely implode after that rough second inning. So I applaud him for, fighting through it, sticking through it, kind of figuring it out, just keeping us in the game, giving us some length. That was a huge thing because we didn't have Holmes or Peralta this game. So that was huge or Canely as well. So it was huge that, Cole was able to, give us some length, give us close to 5 innings. He didn't give us quite 5 innings, but he got us close to it. And then Cordero came in and, stopped the bleeding, didn't let anything really get worse from there. The bullpen was fine. Everyone did their thing, that eighth inning specifically is the one I want to really talk about because that was a good rally. That was some rally that I haven't really seen this current Yankees team. The one by that I mean like the one without Aaron Judge. I haven't seen them put up that kind of rally or that kind of offensive string really at all. Volpe hit the double, and then Trevino got the infield single. Torres flew out. That didn't feel very good, but then Bader comes through again. He's got the ultimate clutch gene, the 2-run double that he just smacked into the gap. I mean, once that ball got down, I knew we were going to take the lead right there. And that really felt like a big like pick me up. Once Bader came back, I knew it was going to be like a bit of a bit of a pick me up for the Yankees. They needed a guy like Bader back on this roster given the state of this team right now, but I'm just really happy to see him, performing again. He had no RBI since he came back from the IL. Prior to that at bat in the eighth inning, drove in those 2 big runs on that big hit, pretty much guaranteed the win right there. Stanton followed through with this RBI single to give us the insurance run. That pretty much like solidified concrete the victory in our hands right there. And then Michael King coming in the ninth inning after struggling of late comes through, pitches a pretty relatively clean ninth inning. Yeah, he gave up a hit to I think it was Jonah Heim, but or I think it was actually Nathaniel Lowe. Excuse me, gave the hit to Nathaniel Lowe, but everything else he was fine. He had a very good at bat against Garcia to end the game. Beautiful pitching. The strikeout on Simeon, that sinker was filthy. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he absolutely tied him up on that pitch. So he looked much better today, much better, which is what we needed out of him. We needed Michael King to kind of figure things out a little bit. He'd been struggling of late, but overall, I'm glad to see some of the pieces that have been struggling of late kind of step up a little bit this game. DJ had some good at bats. He had the 2-run double. Stanton had some decent at bats today, and of course had the RBI single. Like you said, you mentioned Volpe's double. Yeah, that's definitely a good sign to see. Him getting big hits late in games, and of course Harrison Bader just doing his thing like he's been always doing for this Yankees team, just coming up clutch when you need to. overall, it was a quality win. It was a quality win, a good win to have, a very good series win, probably their best series win of the year. And I don't mean to sugarcoat that, but like you needed to win this series. You needed to win this series, especially because you have Oakland A's coming up next. You can easily get on a nice little winning streak right here. Get like maybe if you can sweep the Oakland A's, that'd be ideal, of course, because it's the Oakland A's. But if you take 2 out of 3, whatever you take 2 out of 3, but you at least got to get another series win, right off some series wins. Just keep staying afloat, keep getting these wins as much as you can, however you get them until we Judge comes back, which we still don't know about. But yeah, that's kind of just my opening thoughts about it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's really it's about it, I really don't even think it's about how you win at this point. It's about just getting wins. Obviously, prefer it to be done the way it was today, which was timely hits and some pretty decent offense. But I think you and I can agree. Right now, it's just about collecting those dubs without Judge. If you can get those wins, man, you're gonna feel really good about your chance to make the playoffs. And I felt like today was a really good win for them, and a really good just morale booster. Now the New York Yankees are winners of 2 straight series against teams who aren't that bad. I know the Mariners have been struggling a little bit, but they've been playing better baseball recently. The Rangers, of course, have been the second best team in the American League. Overall, I really do think that the Yankees are, they're trending in the right direction. Are we going to sit here and call them back? No, they're not back until Aaron Judge comes back. That's how I feel about this team, and that's how I'm going to feel about this team for really the entirety of whatever's going on with Judge. But do I feel like this team's in a good spot? Absolutely. And do I feel like this team can keep themselves afloat? Yes. It's a matter of if they're capable of playing to the back of their baseball cards. I think that this series showed the potential there. And you have a series now with Oakland. Oakland's 1-9 in the last 10 games. And only had that recent, 7-game winning streak. They won a little bit of a run there. But now they're back on the downturn. You've got to take advantage. You parlay this into a series win over the A's, and you play St. Louis right after that. If you can grab 2 more series dubs, maybe if you can go on like a 5-1 stretch there. I know that requires a sweep of one of those series, but if you can, now you're in a spot where you're what? I'm trying to just think off top. I think you're like 8. I think you're like 10 or 11 games above 500. You'll take pretty good command of that, wild card spot that you hold right now. And again, it's just about keeping control. You have an off day tomorrow. You're going to be traveling to Oakland. I'm trying to just look at teams that are wild card opponents play. Astros are going to get St. Louis. Not really hopeful about that. Toronto's going to get the Giants. Hopefully the Giants, who have been playing better lately, can, help the Yankees out a little bit. We'll see, right? We have a series with Baltimore after that St. Louis series, so we'll have a chance to help our own chances there. But yeah, so with that being said, I think it's time for us to turn it over to the comment section if you're ready to go. All righty then. So
Yep,
we're going to start off
I'm ready
with
to go. Let's get to the comments.
Yeah, we'll start off with Trevor here. What's up, fellas? We just won a series with the second best team in baseball. Yeah, no, I forgot. I'm underselling it. They're not the second best record just in the American League. I believe they're the second best record in all of baseball. First off, Trevor, thank you for stepping back in. We appreciate you. Definitely wanted to, I was already mentioning before the stream, Candelario has a home run to hit. So, just want to shout you out there for that. With that being said, this is a really good series for the Yankees to have won. There's definitely a lot of good morale, good vibes after that one. Connor Hutchinson stops by. Love you guys. Hey, man, hope you're having a good time. Hope you're having a good day, and appreciate you for stopping by. Trevor brings up that Volpe's had a 140 WRC plus since the Chicken Parm situation that coming into the game and has been playing better defense lately. I think he's making really good quality of contact. I think that's something that Volpe's done really well for most of the year. He kind of slowed down a little bit in that regard. But the issue I really have are the swing decisions. The swing decisions, in my opinion, still have to get better. He makes really bad swing decisions. They're tough. And he's going to struggle to be much more than just a 70 to 80 WRC plus hitter without any plate discipline. He's got to go up there looking to walk. He's got to go up there being a little less aggressive at the plate. I think, again, the quality of contact's excellent, right? You look at the barrel rates, 9.5%. I'm not sure if that batted ball today was a barrel. We're going to check right now, but I think it was close. It was not a barrel, but it's a 101 mile per hour line drive. Like, the hard hit rates are good. Exit velocity is above average. Sweet spot rates above average. Everything's above average in terms of quality of contact, but it's that whiff rate. It's that chase rate. Those are the areas he's struggling, and he's got to get better if he wants to be a more polished hitter. But so far, in terms of when he does make contact with the ball, things are going good there. What do you think, Dylan?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I wish he would make better swing decisions. I do. I kind of getting annoyed of seeing him still make those lousy swing decisions or swinging at bad pitches out of the zone and chasing bad pitches you shouldn't be and just falling behind in the count all the time. I want to see him work some walks too and just, be more disciplined at the plate. But I am encouraged by what I'm seeing lately. I am noticing a change a little bit. He does look a little bit better. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a substantial change, but it's definitely a change. It's a marginal change that I've noticed. And overall, I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing. I'm hoping that this can kind of continue and kind of, grow into a bigger and longer stretch of just really good baseball from Anthony Volpe, because I know he is capable of doing it. I just need to see him do it. But I need to just see him make, like you said, make more adjustments at the plate, make better swing decisions, have some better discipline, work some walks, run up the count a little bit, make pitchers work, don't just give it to them. Things like that. Simple stuff that, younger hitters will mature on and learn about. That it happens to every single young player almost. I'm not saying that like Volpe is going to become like a superstar this season, but he has the capability to become a very productive offensive player for this New York Yankees team by the month of August or something like that. If he can just continue to work on these things and, go over his film, make any proper adjustments he needs to make, things like that. That's all I need to see. And so far, I'm seeing better baseball from Volpe, so I just want to see him keep it up. Simple as that. Because eventually, it'll turn into really good at bats and some really big hits and clutch hits and all that stuff. Like today, for example, today was probably the biggest hit he needed. He needed that double. He needed a clutch hit. He needed a big hit in the clutch situation. He needed to be the guy to kind of start this off, and he was. So I think that can help Volpe give himself a little confidence boost. And yeah, let's just hope we see more results in this Oakland series and moving forward. Really, that's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. They just gotta have that keep going. They need to have this run keep going. They need to have Volpe keeping this up. If again, it's just Volpe's got to make better swing decisions. That's all. If he can do that, man, um, I really do think that he can figure it out. So I don't know. I think that he has to make it has to be the swing decisions. Like again, I've said this a lot. Dylan Lawson, please, I'm begging. I am begging you, like bottom of my heart, please, just not even just for Volpe, for like a lot of this lineup, go to them and be like, yo, stop swinging. Holy, like I can't really do it, man. I'm being serious. Like, there's some points I'm watching this offense, like, dude, I physically and emotionally cannot handle this. I'm only human, man. I really am. I'm only human. We're all only human here. Maybe we have some non-human viewers. If we do, shout you guys out. I have no idea how you're watching this, but shout you out.
If
But
you
yeah,
guys are
I'm only
watching
human,
this in
man.
Mars, shout out you guys.
Yeah, shoot. If you're watching this in Mars, man, if you're watching this in Mars, I don't want you to reveal your identity, but appreciate you. But moving on a little bit here. Where are the Harrison Bader haters now? If you are a Harrison Bader hater, I don't know what to really tell you. I think, look, I get it. He gets injured. I understand it's an issue, but the dude's a pretty good hitter. And I think he's an excellent. I mean, I know he's an excellent defender. I think you're stupid if you think otherwise. But he's a really good all around player. I just need him to stay healthy. That's really it. I have no quarrels with him at all. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Bader and that big day he had today?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you don't have a problem with Harrison Bader, then I don't know what to tell you either. Harrison Bader, yes, like you just said, I'm kind of reiterating your point here, but yes, I understand he's hurt all the time, or most oftentimes, I should say, and he's had that issue for pretty much his entire career. But when he's on the field, he's an extremely productive baseball player. And he's grown into having a much better plate approach with the Yankees than he did in the card when he was with the Cardinals. He's shown some more power. He's trying to drive the ball more, trying to drive in runs. He's got that clutch gene, man. Every time we need a big hit and Bader's up to the plate, I trust him almost 100% of the time. The guy is clutch. When he came up today in that eighth inning with 2 runners on, I was like, all right, this is his spot. This is the spot he wants to be in. This is the one we want him to be in. He's batting second today. That's usually don't see him batting second. I guess that's the reason, because he needed to be higher up in the order a little bit to kind of drive in some runs. And look what happened. He drove in two runs with that big double, and we won the game because of it. And Bader also, his energy and his impact defensively, all that stuff that can spark a team. That sparks a team. And, the double itself, too, I think really kind of woke the Yankees up a little bit, because then Stanton followed right through with a single. And then even Jake Bowers, he hit no double play, but he smacked that ball. So they were hitting everything. They were feeling really good at the plate after that Harrison Bader double. So I really think simple things like that can really spark a team and get them going a little bit. And that's why Harrison Bader is really important to this Yankees team. When he was on the IL, we were missing his presence along with Judge's, of course. And of course, at the beginning of the season when Bader was on the IL, we were missing that too. We didn't have him, and we were kind of just 500. Then Bader comes back, and we start winning games. I think we went like 15-5 through a 20-game stretch at one point when Judge and Bader were, of course, on the team. Not saying they're going to do that again right now because they still don't have Aaron Judge, but if Bader can just keep doing what he's doing right now, keep coming through in the clutch, hit well with runners in scoring position, have good situational hitting, be disciplined at bat, of course. And of course, the defense, which we all know is going to be there 100% of the time. As long as he's doing all that stuff and just providing some energy and sparks, then, this Yankees team can go on a solid run here. They can. They have the advantage to do it because, like you mentioned earlier, they have the A's and then the Cardinals next, two of the worst teams in the league. You got to take advantage right there of the scheduling that gave you that and pull off some wins. You can do it. This team is 100% capable of doing that. It's in their lap right now. Getting these two big series wins was huge, huge, and getting the win today was on a large part thanks to Harrison Bader. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I don't disagree. Look, Harrison Bader, that's my dog. Harrison Bader's my guy. I'm gonna sit here and defend Harrison Bader any day of the week. If you have a problem with Harrison Bader, you got a problem with me. Come see me about that. And with that being said, let's move on a little bit here. Stanton, since yesterday's been having better at bats, has been coming off the aisle. It's a good start. Yeah, I don't know if you saw these comments. I think these came after the game. I'm gonna check right now. I know I saw them. It was like referring to the single today. Here it is. There we go. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, regardless of who's on the field, regardless of anything. So just keep working. He said, and he was asked, working on anything in particular. He goes, just be better. That's what I'm working on. He said, why has that been difficult? He says, anything would be an excuse. So nothing. And this is right after an RBI single and having to really get a bat there. So, hey, look, if Stan can get himself locked in, this team is going to be a lot better, a lot more watchable, and a lot more enjoyable. So, hey, look, if we can get some sort of version of him back, man, I need it.
Exactly. We just need some good version of him back, not the one that's swinging at bad pitches out of the zone or, just being well behind fastballs and hitting ground balls left and right. What I'm seeing from Stanton is I'm seeing better approaches at the plate. I'm seeing better swings. I had a feeling it would come at some point. I was just getting really impatient that it hadn't happened yet because I was, honestly getting worried. I was getting worried. I haven't seen him endure a slump like that bad for this long of a time period. I haven't seen that out of Stanton. So I was definitely extremely worried, and I think my worries were a little justified by the at bats he was giving us. But today he looked a lot much better, and I'm happy he looked a lot much better, I should say. And like you said, the quote that you mentioned or whatever, Stanton's always held himself accountable. I can't knock on the guy for holding himself accountable. I can and he always looks to try to make changes. I'm not gonna sit here and act like sometimes it feels like he just continues to struggle and doesn't feel like anything's working. But what I will say is, Stanton's a hard worker. He knows when he's struggling. He's not ignorant about it. He's aware if he's not having good enough plate at bats, I should say, and he's aware if he's not swinging at any good pitches or if he's having just any trouble at the plate whatsoever. He's always aware of it, and he tries to work on it. It's tough. It's tough to sometimes. Sometimes it's just tough, and especially since coming off the IL, he hasn't been very good. He hasn't been very good since the All Star break last year. We all know those things, but if Stanton can figure it out and turn it around, like you just said, this team will be much more watchable because oftentimes I want to drill nails into my head watching these at bats, not literally, figuratively, but you get the point. Like it's been bad. It's been that bad. So like, yeah, I just need to see better at bats, and I am seeing them so far. I just want to see more. I'm not gonna draw a conclusion off of a 2-game sample size or off of one at bat where he drove in a run. I want to see some more. That's all I got to say really about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like end of the day, you're gonna get a better version of Stanton. If you can get a confident version of Stanton, maybe you get a better version of Stanton. But if you get a better version of Stanton, you get what I think starts to look a lot more like a playoff ready offense. So again, all of that hinges on Judge in terms of being like playoff material offense. But if you want to go win a World Series, you're gonna need John Carlos Stanton to be a part of it. At the end of the day, we're always thinking, how can we win the World Series, even when the Yankees aren't playing that well, which to be fair, we're like 8 games over 500. So it's not like we're in the nightmare situation. We're not the Mets right now. We're certainly not the Mets right now. And it's not even like a stray at the Mets.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Mets friends,
Yeah,
and I know they're not having
yeah.
a good time right now.
With all due respect, man,
Yeah, it's
I
rough.
tuned into the Mets game after the Yankees game, and pray for a Mets fan tonight. Pray for a
Yeah,
Mets fan tonight, man. It's that was yeah, bad.
not me and David Robertson. That's just, you know.
Yeah, or
Uh,
Ottavino, or
yeah, I mean,
Ottavino. Like,
out the lead go, as Mr. Fleming
but yes, but they didn't.
says it.
Ottavino and Robertson are their two high leverage guys, and they didn't even think about using them in that eighth inning at all. While they watched the rest of the bullpen implode, and then when they're down by one in the ninth, you see David Robertson warming up, and they're kind of just like, what? Like, so you would have went to Robertson? Why didn't you use him in the eighth inning?
Jeff Brigham,
This
man.
is obviously,
Hey,
yeah,
Jeff
yeah.
Brigham. He's got to be a
It's
special
not a
player.
Mets pod, but we're baseball fans first, so
We
I
are.
can scratch my head at
Well,
that decision all I want
I
because
always say I'm Dominican
yeah.
first and a baseball fan second. But no, all seriousness though. No, I don't. I look. It could be worse. That's all we're saying, folks. Where it could be a lot. We
Oh,
could be in a lot
100%.
worse of a situation.
We're not the Mets right now, man. Mets are rock bottom. We're not at rock bottom yet. So
Yeah, we are very much away from rock bottom. We will. I will let people know when we've hit rock bottom. But Trevor also asked, the Yankees finally scored 5 or more runs without Judge and lead to a win. And anytime scored more than 5 runs or more, we've lost because of the lack of pitching. I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, the games that we score a lot, we don't win. I feel like I don't know. Like that's like a trend that was a thing when Judge was gone. I'm glad that's no longer a trend because I mean, I can't do those like big scoring losses. Those always drive me up the fucking wall. I think those are worse. Those are worse than low scoring ones because the low scoring ones you kind of feel like you have a shot every time. You're kind of like relaxed for most of the game. These are just terrible. These are never fun.
yeah, when you lose like 9-8 or 8-7, you're kind of just like, man, if only we pitched better, we would have easily won this game. But like you said, when it's kind of just a pitcher's duel, offenses are quiet on both sides. You're kind of just like, all right, we're still in this. We're still in this. If you have like a 7-6 lead, well, let's not even go 7-6. Let's say it's like a 10-9 game, right? And you're up by one in the bottom of the ninth inning. You're probably very, very nervous out there watching your team pitch because they've been getting lit up just as much as the other team has, and and let's say you're the away team and you're up by one. You're probably out there so nervous watching your team pitch to try to close out a game where both offenses are clicking. So yeah, I agree. It's more relaxing a little bit when you kind of see a pitchers do a little bit. I hate those high scoring losses. I hate those, especially the ones where you were up big at one point and you blow it and it becomes a high scoring game. I hate those. I hate those. I'd much rather lose like, I don't know, 3-1 in that scenario than lose like 11-10 after you put up a bunch of crooked numbers on offense and then you still lost. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's those losses. I don't like those losses, but. We've got another question here. Random thought or opinion question. What is the Yankees WRC plus the team since Bader's return? It's probably not good. Because even when Bader came back, you think of that Boston series, they were brutal. You think of even the Mariners series, they were brutal. The first 2 games of this series, they were brutal. It's probably not very good. Their WRC plus as a team is still pretty bad. They're still a bad, like they have to do a lot better if they want to compete in the postseason. And I don't even mean like compete. Like don't get curb stomped in the wild card round. And I'm not exaggerating here. Like unless they get the 6th seed and they face an AL Central team, which honestly I don't think you would disagree with me here. I think at this point you're hoping you get the 6th seed. You don't want the second wild. You want to face. I want to face the Minnesota Twins in round 1, or like the Cleveland Guardians, or maybe even the fucking Detroit Tigers. That division sucks. Those teams suck. Those teams are terrible. I am not moved by a single team in that division. I want the 6th seed. I
yeah,
really,
it's
really
pretty
want the 6th
insane
seed.
that one of those AL Central teams is going to make the playoffs. Like just
They're
the
all
fact that one of them
terrible.
is
They're
going to have to get
unwatchably
in.
bad.
Yeah,
They don't belong
like
there. Like I don't even mean to be that
they
guy, but they
don't.
don't.
They
Like
don't.
it's a disgrace. I'm kind of. It makes the playoffs
Are
less
are,
important.
are
I'm
is
embarrassed.
is every team still under 500 in the Central?
Yeah, no, I'm embarrassed.
Is every team
Honestly, like
still under?
I feel sick. I didn't even know it was this bad. No. Is it this bad? There's no way it's this bad. Oh no. They're not
There
all
was
below
it
500.
was a
But the no, that's okay. The Twins are 40 and 39.
because so they're one game up.
Yeah,
There was a point just like a week ago where
yeah.
every single team was under 500. So
I'm not buying it with this. The Yankees I know lost the series to the Twins, but the Yankees would beat the shit out of the Twins in a playoff series. Like I mean this in the Yankees would beat the
and
ever
they
loving.
have for
Yeah,
and
Johnny Brito
and
was
they
pitching
have
a
for
game
2
in that
decades.
series. They won 2 of those games. Like the Yankees are dog walking. Like I don't care how bad this Yankee team could limp into the postseason. They'll dog walk the Twins and then get bitch slapped by the Rays, but they would dog walk the Twins. The Red Sox I think are better than I'm more scared of the Red Sox than I am of the Twins. I'm just trying to think of like more teams
I
that
agree.
like dog walk them. I think I know I'm putting out a lot of like, oh, this could be a bad take. If the Yankees end up losing to the Twins, I don't give a fuck. I would just make fun of the Yankees for it. They would beat the shit out of the Twins. I'm not even like moved. Honestly, be the 6th seed. First round, don't even pitch Garrett Cole. Don't pitch Coleswood on a game 2 of that series. Win game 1 with Cole on the mound, and throw out like fucking Nestor in game 2. Win because you would win with whoever's on the mound. You could. I think if you started the game, Dylan, we would win that series. Like we're always going to beat the Twins, but I don't know if I can. We completely sidetracked here to just me making fun of it. Like, fuck the Twins. I don't like Minnesota. No disrespect to the city of Minnesota, the state of like, dude. It's a state. I don't know why I said city, but fuck the state of Minnesota, man. I can't. No, just no. But moving on a little bit. The 2021 Mariners are kind of like 2017-2019 A. Start off poorly, but turns it up in the second half of the season. So Mariners are no pushover. Yes, I agree. But I would also, if the Yankees face the Mariners postseason series, I'd expect to win that series. So that's how I feel. Like when you want me to gauge the American League, I gauge it by how much better they are than the Yankees, because I think the Yankees are clearly not the best team in the American League. But I think the Yankees are good enough to be a surprise team in the American League if they were to make it and then like kind of just go on a run in the postseason. They have the pitching to do so, and they have Aaron Judge if they get Aaron Judge back. So I think like the Rangers, I would expect to beat the Yankees in a playoff series. Maybe I know that this is like, I know we just played 3 games, but they did beat the shit out of us the first time we played them. And I know we don't have Aaron Judge right now, but I don't think the Yankees are better than the Rangers. I think the Rangers offense, we saw that offense. That offense was terrifying. That offense scares the crap out of me.
Up and down that Rangers lineup, you just got
all
power hitters, 300 hitters. Like
they're 9 hitters hitting like 280.
Ezekiel Duran hits 8 and he's hitting 310. And
yeah, no, their
Leody
team
Taveras
is
hitting almost 300 and hitting 9th. Like
I've walked away from this series. I walked away from the first series like, yeah, I don't want to deal with the Rays. But now, not the Rays, excuse me, the Rangers. But now that we've walked through a second series with them, I feel that way even more. And then speaking of the Rays, that's the other team that I feel like I'm like, okay, I don't want to fucking play the Rays in the playoffs. The Rays, we never score against the Rays, and I hate the Trop, so that's 1. The Rangers hit the shit out of the ball. That's 2. Everyone else's game. I'll play the Blue Jays in 3 games. Give me the Blue Jays in 3 games. I'm not saying, that I think the Twins are significantly more pathetic, but I'd rather play them. The Astros, the way they're playing, I'm not necessarily like, oh, the Astros are dog water for the Yankees, but like the same way I view the Blue Jays, they're just as good. The Orioles, I think, I think the Orioles are interesting. I think we could beat the Orioles too. I'm pretty confident the Yankees could beat the Orioles in the 3-game series, but I don't
feel like the lack of
playoff
experience will be the Orioles.
I think the lack of starting pitching is really what does, because in the
playoffs
you can really shorten your starting pitching, which is something that I think is important to mention here. But as long as the Yankees keep getting hot and they are able to make the postseason, yeah, I mean that's how I feel. I'm always going to feel this way if the Yankees just make the postseason. That's all they have to do to have a chance. But I also want to make the postseason healthy, so I need Aaron Judge for that. I need
pretty
Carlos
much.
Rodon actually pitched his second rehab today. Looked pretty good. So, that's a good sign. He hit 96, I think, on the radar gun, which is also nice. Yeah.
Heard he's got like 1 more before he'd come back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Heard he had 1 more start before he would come back. So
yep.
We'll see how that goes with him.
No, I think they'll do just fine. I think they'll do just fine if Rodon can come back. They just need to do enough to make it to the postseason. That's how I view it, and that's how I'm going to view it because I'm arrogant and I like being arrogant. Moving on though, what are your guys' takes on the Josh Johnson situation today? I found it a waste of time and a non-story. I think he's gone soon. I don't know. I think he's gone soon. I think Josh Johnson is going to be gone. So I don't think he'll be a New York Yankee in a couple of weeks. If he keeps playing
today. It's like this. Today, it might have felt like a waste of time, but I feel like this could mean something a couple of weeks from now. This might mean something. And like you said, it could indicate like, yeah, his time here is running out. He's on that last leg. The fact that, Aaron Boone was 30 minutes late to the press conference. So, they were probably talking about something, but they're not going to reveal what they were talking about. They're not going to. Whether we want to believe Donaldson's quote after the game about how, oh, it's just baseball stuff, personal stuff. We always do that all the time. That's up to you guys to believe it or not. But, it could mean anything. It could mean anything. I mean, like I said, they're not going to spill what they actually talked about. They're not going to do that. Okay? Like, let's be clear about that right now. Especially at this stage right now where Donaldson's been struggling, has gotten benched 3 games in a row and all this stuff. He's not going to share what they actually said. Maybe they did talk baseball. Maybe they just had baseball talk and that, he is going to actually play a lot in this, that. Maybe that's the case. But At the end of the day, we won't actually know until we see either a transaction be made or if Josh Donaldson's name is penciled in the lineup against Oakland on Tuesday. We won't know. We won't know until then. I mean, so we kind of just have to take what we got out of that story, I guess, and take it from there and see what it means. See if it indicates something that'll happen a couple weeks from now or even a week from now or whatever. Just got to see.
Also, and I want to kind of throw this into the air, right? I know that this is a little bit, we're getting a little wild here. LeMahieu had a pretty decent day today. LeMahieu's been better. I know LeMahieu has been good, but LeMahieu can play second base, first base, and has been better than Josh Donaldson more recently, and is having a better year this year than Josh Donaldson. Do you think that LeMahieu's play is going to make it so that Donaldson's the one that he just has to go? Like, IKF is more well liked. IKF, I think, also plays the outfield, so that matters. I don't think the Yankees are going to view IKF's WRC plus the way they'll view Donaldson. If IKF is an 80 WRC plus and Donaldson has an 80 WRC plus, IKF is going to stay on the roster. Donaldson is not. Are we at the point where we're going to sit here and start like saying like Jake Bauers and Billy McKinney should stay over Donaldson? Because I'm at that point. It's very early on. I at least know I'm there with Jake Bauers because I at least know he's an above average hitter. Can't field for shit, but he's an above average hitter. You know what I mean? Like this year, now his WRC plus is loading it up. Thank you, Fangraph. I mean, I had a really good point going here, and Fangraph just doesn't want to do this for me, huh? All right. Moving on. Billy McKinney, I think, is doing enough where, he'll get to a point where he'll get you in there. Bauers' WRC plus knows over 110. It's 112. Okay. Are we going to get rid of a 112 WRC plus hitter? Probably not. Are we going to get rid of Bill McKinney before we get rid of Josh Donaldson? Probably not. You're going to need a 40-man spot for Carlos Rodon to use 60-day Aaron Judge because you can 60-day Aaron Judge and do it retroactively. I don't know. Depends on how he's progressing. Do the Yankees want to 60-day him now? Probably not. So do they DFA Calhoun? I don't know. Would you DFA? I don't even think that works. You'd have to. No, that does work, but you'd have to send out a pitcher still. You're not DFA Nick Ramirez. Nick Ramirez is good. I think Nick Ramirez is doing a job. He's kind of Ryan Webbering it, but he's getting a job done. So we're not moving him. Albert Abreu, maybe it's Abreu, but Abreu again hasn't been bad enough. Donaldson it feels like he's the guy who his time on the roster is starting to come to an end. There are too many guys in this roster that they have that are more interesting or just better players. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of second everything you said. Like Donaldson might just be the odd man out. Simple as that. He's pretty much lost his starting job already. So it looks like there's not going to really be much of a spot for him to stick around. Because I mean, like you mentioned, he's not really more productive than the guys we have up here right now. He's not more productive than like Bauers, McKinney, not even Calhoun. And you mentioned IKF, his versatility. The Yankees are going to value that, and they're probably going to, at least they should value that over Donaldson, who only plays third base and is literally a detriment with the bat. So with that being said, he might just be the odd man out. You might just have to let him go. I mean, I don't really see an avenue for Donaldson to play every day when Judge is back and stuff, especially if LeMahieu puts up better at bats and continues to play a little better than like he has been, over the past couple of days. Then I don't really see how Donaldson's going to get in all the time. I don't see it. So yeah, I mean, he might just be the odd guy out, and he might have to go. If the Yankees can find any sort of value for Donaldson, like if he has any trade value and they can work a trade, that's a win. That's a win because at this stage, I don't know what kind of value Donaldson really has. He's 37 years old and he's hitting like 120 this season. Not many guys are going to want to take that. So if there's any team out there that is willing to take on that and his contract, then it's a win for the Yankees. If they have to just DFA him and release him, then so be it. But one way or another, he's probably going to have to get out of here at some point. And, it sucks that the Donaldson experiment as a Yankee didn't work out. There was a lot of potential with it when he came over, but it just hasn't worked out. It wasn't the time and it just wasn't the place. And he's going to be the odd man out. It's probably done for him, honestly. That's how I see it.
I don't disagree. I think it's Donaldson. And I just, for third base, I need Trevor to type in this chat just to make sure he's here for the. Oh, I see he just typed in perfectly. All right. Heimer Candelario, folks. All right, let's put a couple. I wanted to talk about Heimer Candelario today. We need to talk about Heimer Candelario today. It must happen today. It has to. He has a 115 WRC plus right now after not 115. Is it higher than that? I know on the season it's 112. He has 7 outs above average. Yeah, he has a 316 WRC plus, 116 WRC plus, plus 7 OAA, positive base runner.
You made my heart
top.
drop for a second, bro. I was like
Yeah, it's
316.
like, yeah, he's got the best F4 in the National League for a third baseman. Um, he hits a lot of doubles. He doesn't strike out a lot. For all, if my dad or my uncle are watching, he doesn't strike out a lot and he hits a lot of doubles. I know you guys like that. But let's get to nerd talk for a little bit here. Slugging 467, 337 OBP is decent. This screams the Yankees 5 hitter. This screams the Yankees 5 hitter in a postseason series. This screams guy who comes over here and gives you, like, on a per rate basis, he's more like a 110 WRC plus hitter, which is good, but the counting stats are really good. So he's a vibes guy, probably puts up a bunch of RBIs in this lineup and makes people like really like him. He's a good player. He's just a good player. 111.3 max exit velocity is pretty good. He pulls over 36% of his fly balls. That's really good. I know that, I know that the Yankees are not a Heimer Candelario away from winning the World Series, but are they a Heimer Candelario and some other pieces away from winning a World Series? Yeah. I mean, can the Yankees win a World Series if they got magically super healthy right now? Maybe. You add a decent third baseman to that. Now let's say your bottom lineup is your catcher and your shortstop. It's going to be Trevino / Higashioka or Volpe. We're just going to set that there. Those are always going to be your bottom two hitters, I think, even if Volpe gets better throughout the season. Leadoff hitter, I don't think is on this team right now. I don't think the Yankees leadoff hitter is currently on the roster. Though Glaber's done a decent job there, so I'm going to give him credit for that. I know he had that blunder, which we'll talk about, but I think he's a pretty good leadoff hitter, at least okay at it. But I don't want him leading off in the postseason. I want him hitting sixth. You've got Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, go to Candelario, have Glaber 6. I don't even know who's 7. McKinney, Bowers, a left field you grab. There's a position I definitely missed out on. Bader's a 7 hitter, right? You find a good leadoff hitter, or maybe Bill McKinney's that guy, and suddenly you have a baseball team. Suddenly you have a baseball team capable of scoring runs. It relies on what Volpe can give you. I think we're going to have a conversation at some point about Trevino in the catching spot if he continues to get worse offensively, not because he's a bad player, but because the Yankees kind of need offense and he's really bad. Like, it's a 57 WRC plus bad right now. It's got to get better before it gets worse. I don't know, but I think that a Heimer Candelario gets you in the right direction. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, no, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on our live stream. Like, I think Jamer Candelario could be. I heard you saying Heimer. I always thought it was pronounced Jamer. But
Could be
anyways,
wrong.
with that being
I'm trying to
said, I
sound
think he would
Hispanic
be a
here, but I'm
solid fit
not.
here. I really do. I think he's got good bat ball skills. Yeah, well, I don't entirely remember. I honestly don't know, so we'll just stick with it. But anyways, I like Candelario's fit. Good bat to ball skills, like you mentioned. He's got a good WRC plus, good slugging numbers. He hits a lot of doubles. He's a switch hitter. I think that's huge right there. We have some bounce in the lineup you could throw in there. You kind of insert him anywhere because he's switch hitting. And with that being said, just like I think he'd be a solid fit here. I really do. I agree that, he's not necessarily the guy like that we need to get to win the World Series. We're probably still a few pieces away from that, but he's something that is definitely an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade. I think I should emphasize that. It's an upgrade because the third base spot
He
has
just
been a black hole so far. He just doubled again. Dang, he's having a really good game. He's having a really good game. So he's feeling
Let's
Ryan's
go!
agenda, man.
Let's go!
He's
We need a
feeling
Dominican
Ryan's
third baseman, bro. The last time we had a Dominican third baseman was Miguel Andujar. Oh, we couldn't play defense. He was icy as hell. All right. We need a Dominican third baseman. I'm pushing this. We're pushing this.
Yeah, right. James Candelario is fueling Ryan's energy right now. But anyways, yeah, I think it'll be a solid fit. Really, I think it would. Like you said, you could slot him in at the 5th spot in the lineup, and right there provide a guy who makes contact and drives in runs and gets some doubles and stuff like that. Like, he's got a little bit of pop too. He doesn't have like insane pop, but he can get you a couple home runs here and there. He's not like the type of guy that won't get you any. So it'd be a pretty solid fit. I think it's something they should explore. I definitely think it is. Do I think it's like a move that they're definitely gonna make? No, but I think it's a move I would green light. I would give the okay to. It's just I wonder if they'll even entertain it. I wonder if the Nationals want to get rid of him. I wonder if the Yankees will make an offer for him. I don't know. I don't know what the landscape of all that looks like right now, but we'll kind of just have to see. But I'm interested in it, and I definitely will keep an eye on it. So
No, I mean, he's a free agent at the end of the year. The Nationals, no offense to any Nationals fans. I don't think any Nationals fans are sitting here like, you better not say our team is bad, but your team sucks. Your team is terrible. Your team is dog water. It's really bad, and you need our prospects. We've got you guys. That's what the Yankees are here for, folks. But I hear a lot of comments, Peraza. Peraza to me has to come up as a shortstop. I don't want a glove first third baseman. I like Peraza. I think he's a solid player, but I think most of his value is going to come out of defense. I don't think he's much more than a 100 to 105 to maybe 110 WRC plus hitter. Not saying that makes you a bad third baseman, but ideally you want more offense from that spot. I think that Heimer Candelario gives you the offense you're looking for. He's also already's gotten 7 OAA this season. You're not sure how Peraza translates to third base defensively. For those reasons, I believe Heimer Candelario should be a Yankee and that the Yankees should go out and get an infielder. And end of the day, again, I know that, again, Trevor, I know you mentioned it. I didn't like Andujar. I did not like Andujar after the surgery. But 2018 Andujar, I stand by that. One of the coolest players I've ever gotten to watch play baseball. We need a Dominican third baseman, folks. We need a Dominican third baseman. Trevor, thank you for making me a Heimer Candelario guy. I was looking at him, but I was never all the way in. Now we're all the way in. But moving on a little bit here, unless there's anything you want to add, Dylan.
No, I don't have much to add other than just, shout out Trevor for making Ryan fuel up a new agenda and be ready to push for Jamer Candelario to come to the Yankees. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. uh,
Yeah. Moving on, we've got LA Kings saying this expectation I have in the next series is 6-0, is going 6-0, which I think is interesting. And because you're facing the Athletics and the Cardinals. Okay, so here's what I'll say. I don't think that the Yankees are going to go 6-0 on this stretch. I think asking for a team to win 8 games in a row, because it would be 8 games in a row. Not that the Yankees can't win 8 games in a row, but you would naturally bet against that. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking of it from an odds perspective here. And that's what I love doing. I love kind of being a little mathematical, being a little nerdy, popping some balloons. That's my thing. You know what I mean? But I do think that you can go 5-1 in this stretch. And I do think 6-0 is possible. If this team goes 6-0, what's their record right now? I'm going to double check. It's 43-35. You win 6 games in a row and you're 49-35. We're going to be talking about the season completely differently. You and I will be having completely different conversations about the season of the New York Yankees. That would put you, let's see, in terms of pace times 62. That would put you on a 95 win pace. You would be doing that mostly without Aaron Judge. Not the 6-game winning streak, the record in total, because obviously you'd have to do all of that without Aaron Judge. And that's the key here. You would have to do all of that without Aaron Judge, which I feel like is such a hard loss that you're going to have games where you're going to have a game or two in this stretch. You're going to face a pitcher you should beat and you don't beat them. I'm looking at that JP Sears versus Domingo Germán start that I am not looking forward to. Germán struggled. Sears has pitched a lot better lately, and he's a lefty. So you're going to neutralize Bowers. I don't know how McKinney will look. Those are 2 of your hottest hitters. You're going to have to rely upon IKF, Donaldson, LeMahieu, all in the same lineup. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like one of those trap games. You know what I mean? I feel like the Yankees are going to lose a trap game somewhere here. I know you're expected to win these games, but it's 6 in a row. I think it's a lot to ask, but hopefully they can get it done. What do you think, Dylan? What would you say is like your record, like happiness chart? Like, what does it look like for you?
5-1, I'll be cool with 5-1. If they go 4-2, I'll be a little disappointed because like it is the A's and Cardinals. My eyes, you kind of gotta sweep the A's. If they don't, whatever they don't, but you have to. It's the Oakland A's. I know the Yankees are extremely shorthanded right now. It's the A's, man. The A's are on pace to be one of the worst teams in big league history. You gotta sweep the A's. You have to. I don't even care that they're going on the West Coast and they're going to the Coliseum for these. You got to sweep the A's. You got to. If you lose one to the Cardinals, I can be content with it because, the Cardinals do have decent players. They don't have great pitching, but they have decent players. So if you lose to the Cardinals, you could just, maybe you just get beat by them one day. It happens. The Cardinals have, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt on their team. So, if you lose to them, you lose to them. You can't lose it to the A's. So you can't. You got to go. I'll be happy with 5-1. I'll be really happy with 6-0, but like you said, it is asking for a lot. So 5-1, I'll be cool with that. 4-2, I'll be kind of just like, it could have been better. It could have been a little better than that. They just went 4-2 right now in this homestand. and that is viewed as a success given the difficulty of the opponents you just faced. You faced the Mariners team that's decent, not good, but decent. They've been playing better lately, and a really good Rangers team, and you won both those series and went 4-2. That's a success. That's like that made me happy. But if you go 4-2 in these next six, that'll disappoint me just because like these are weaker opponents. You should go better. You should be better than
I
them.
agree.
So there is a difference. There is a massive difference between 4-2 these past six and 4-2 in the next six. That's the way I see it, and clearly you agree with me. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about it.
Yeah, I'm really glad you got to that point because you see, I was a little scared to say it. 4-2 is not going to make me happy. I'm not going to be happy with 4-2 and be like, I guess it was the worst case scenario. But 5-1, I'll be happy. 6-0, I just like I'm trying like 6-0 is possible, and 6-0 changes the way you view the season. Like it doesn't just change, like it doesn't just change. Yeah, the Yankees record changes. It changes the season. The Yankees play six okay baseball games, and they even if they go 5-1, you're adding so you add a loss, you have 36 losses, and you have 46 wins. It's not groundbreaking, but you're probably keeping your wild card spot. I'm just 6-0 and I'm trying to see who do the Orioles play next. The Orioles over the next 6 days will be playing the Reds, who are red hot. Maybe they get ambushed here, and then Minnesota. They're definitely not. They're definitely not losing a series to Minnesota. That was a jinx attempt. I'm really hoping that they somehow lose to Minnesota. But hey, if they go 3-3 in this stretch and the Yankees go 6-0, suddenly you have 4 games at New York, 3 games up on the Yankees. And Carlos Rodon scheduled to pitch July 5th. Suddenly that season feels a lot different. The Orioles go 2-4. The Orioles go 2-4 here, and they would be 31 losses. No, not 31, excuse me. They would be 33 losses and 49 wins. 33. Wait, my math is so bad. I'm trying to get this out. 33 losses and 49 wins. So you're 16 games above 500. The Yankees are 49 and 35. 2 games back in the loss column. Series with the Yankees. The Yankees take 3 out of 4. The Yankees are tied for second place in the AL East. I think they actually would take the tiebreaker because they're ahead in the season series if they do that. Dylan, I don't know how you feel, but you could talk yourself right back into not even just into the American. And then if you do that, you're back in the American League East conversation. If you do that, you're back in the. You have a chance here. There's a chance for the Yankees to do something here.
Oh yeah, 100%. These next 6 games can really define the Yankees season, really, honestly. And it sounds like, on the surface, it sounds kind of like, oh, why are you saying that they're playing the A's and Cardinals? Take advantage of that, man. You just won 2 big series against teams that you probably didn't expect to win the series against, given how your team has been playing lately. So take advantage of these next 2, and you could really get a step closer to like what you just said, the division lead, the American League East lead, the AL lead overall. I know the Rays are probably gonna honestly walk away with that division. I expect it, but the Yankees can make a push if the Rays, slow down a little bit, and the Yankees can get red hot. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen both with benefits for us and also in times where we're the ones that fall back down. But who knows? Anything can happen. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we just got to see what happens. I'm really excited for these next 2 series. I feel more optimistic about these next 2 series for the Yankees because of what the Yankees just did against Texas and Seattle. I feel more optimistic about it. I really do. I think it's great that they're going into Oakland off of a very good win. I think that's huge. I think that'll be like a huge confidence boost going forward. I just need them to take advantage of that and pull off some big wins because these are some big games coming up. So these could, like you just said, if they go 6-0, like you said, we'll be talking about this season a whole lot differently. A whole lot differently. We will be a lot more jubilant and a lot more excited about what's ahead. And like you said, we'll get Carlos Rodon back. Hopefully, within a few weeks after that, we get Aaron Judge back. We still don't know when he'll be back, so I don't want to speculate too far into that. But just see where that goes. And, brighter times are hopefully ahead. It seems like we're slowly getting out of that abyss a little bit. So I just need to see them keep it up. I don't want to jinx us or anything like that. But, these last 6 games were encouraging. They were encouraging. Yes, the offense wasn't amazing, but, today they put up much better at bats. The pitching continued to shine. Now you got 2 series against pretty bad opponents. So you're in the driver's seat here to control your destiny of where your season's going to head. This is their chance. this is their chance. This is the best chance. This is the way I see it.
I see it. Let's get a little dicey here, folks. Let me narrate the Yankees season to you. How it could go down. Now, how it will go down. How it could go down, folks. The Yankees play very good
Let's hear it.
baseball against Oakland and St. Louis. They win. They go 6-0 on this stretch. Oakland, Baltimore, and the Rays, they drop 3 games each over the next 6 games. The Yankees are able to climb themselves back 3 games back of the 3 games back of the Warriors in the loss column, 5 games back of the Rays in the loss column. Suddenly, you have to end this first half the Orioles and the Cubs. You take 3 out of 4 against the Orioles. You put yourself 1 back of the Orioles, and now you get a series against the Cubs, who are not playing poorly lately, but are not a team you should lose to. You get Colorado at Colorado. You get Los Angeles at Los Angeles. You get Kansas City, the competing with Oakland for the worst team in the American League. You get the Mets. And then you get Baltimore and Tampa once again, end of July, start of August. On July 27th, the off day between the New York Mets and the Baltimore Orioles, Heimer Candelario gets traded to the New York Yankees. Heimer Candelario is playing third base. Aaron Judge is back in the lineup somehow. Bader's in center. McKinney or Bowers, one of those two survived, and one of those two are just unbelievable. You figure out who your catcher is going to be. Volpe's hopefully playing a little bit better. Torres remains somewhat existent. Rizzo is a 120 WRC plus hitter, which is what he is right now. Stain isn't the worst player in the world. And now you have an actual lineup. And Rodon's been pitching for about a month, and he might be looking a little better. And Cole continues his Cy Young season. Severino Cortez, Severino builds off of this really good start. Cortez comes back, he's able to give you something. Schmidt continues to be all right. And now you're entering a series, 2 series against the Orioles and the Rays, in which you have a chance to help yourself in the division. To end the season, your last 4 series are Toronto, Arizona, Toronto, and Kansas City. So you're going to end in Kansas City. If the Yankees can just keep themselves somewhat in this AL East race, it's going to come down to the month of July. All these series I mentioned, all these pivotal moments happen in the month of July. There is a chance that the New York Yankees could put themselves back in this. There's a chance. If there's a chance, that's the way I view it. You know what I mean? There's a chance. There's a path for the Yankees to do it. They're just going to have to do it. Is it the likely path? No. Odds will tell us they're not going to win the division. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think they'll make the wild card. But in the very least, can you at least put yourself in a position to try to win the division so that, this is the way I view this. If you shoot for the moon, you land somewhere in the stars. If you shoot for the division, you get close. Even if you don't win it, you'll probably make the wild card. So you just need to do that. And feel good coming into that wild card series. And suddenly you have, let's see, it's 2 games in the wild card, 3 games in the ALDS, 4 games in the four. I'm not really good at mental math. You have 13 or 14 games, 13 or 14 wins you can collect, and without losing X amount of games, now you have a World Series. It comes down to this stretch here. I think July is going to be the most important month because it looks like their easiest month. And if they can't do it this month, I don't think they'll make the postseason. I think this is season defining here. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. This is season defining. That month of July is going to really come down to where the Yankees not only will face towards the end of the season and where they're going to stand in the division, but also how they approach the trade deadline. Whether they do go ahead and go get Candelario, or if they go bigger or they go smaller and go selling. We don't know about that. I don't want to say they're going to sell because I'm very anti-sell. For those guys that are the pro-sell crowd, I'm completely against that. I don't want them to sell right now. But, we don't know what's going to happen in the next month. So, I second everything you say. It just comes down to that. That month of July is going to mean a lot to this New York Yankees team. And it's really going to determine where we end up in October, whether it means we're going to be on the couch in October or if we're going to be playing wild card games and division series games and hopefully, fingers crossed, World Series games later on. We'll have to just see. We really don't know. We really don't know. We're in a very weird spot where we're like right there. We're very close to being able to compete for the division, but we're also not that far off from missing the playoffs entirely. We're in a pretty weird spot. So the Yankees kind of got to control their own destiny here and kind of got to, snuff out some wins to really avoid falling into that missing playoffs area because that would be a major disappointment. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, look, I know it's a positive spin here, but I'm trying to just I understand the alternative is the Yankees drop 3 of these next 6 games or 4 of these next 6 games. God forbid 5 of these next games. I'm not even gonna say the word, like the emotions I feel if we drop 5. But there's that world. I'm not ignoring that exists. But I'm just saying, instead of stressing myself out about how the Yankees could lose, let me think about the ways they can win. Give yourself a reasonable game plan. Put yourself in a position to play good baseball. Pitch just well enough to survive. Make the right acquisitions. Make the postseason and see what happens. That's what this team is. That's where we're at right now. Is it where we want to be? No, we want it to be. The Yankees are in first place. They're up by 5 or 6 games. We're just cruising. Like, that's where we want it to be. That's not where we're at right now. And that's reality. So you got to get with the times. You've got to be able to adjust on the fly in the season. If you give up on your season in June when you're in a playoff spot, you're kind of a loser. I don't even mean to, like, I don't like to be insulted. Actually, I kind of do like to be insulting sometimes, but you're kind of a loser if you're giving up on the season. The Yankees are in a playoff spot. The Yankees haven't been in a playoff spot since what, like late April? They've held the playoff spot for about a month, a little over a month now. I'm not really going to sit here and start pressing panic buttons yet. Just play good enough. Play good enough baseball. Just play good enough baseball. That's really it. But moving on here, Yankees are 9-4 rubber games this season. Do you remember? I think it was 2021 where they were like allergic of sweeping teams. They couldn't win that last game. Do you remember how that was? I remember that. That 2021 team was interesting. But yeah, it's a good stat. I think it's
that
important.
2021 team was weird, man. That 2021 team should have been so much better. But like you just said, it felt like they just never wanted to sweep. They had that. Remember the Houston series where they were up like 7-2 in the ninth inning and were about to sweep the Astros, and then the Chad Green game happened where he gave the home run to Altuve. Ah, yeah. And then that was like the symbol of the season right there. Like, you just never could finish off a series. Never. No matter what. They were in the prime seat that day to sweep the Houston Astros, the team that went on to make the World Series, and they couldn't do it that day. And yeah, but anyways, it is good that they're finding ways to win the rubber games this year and pull out series wins. Yes, it was, a very weird time this month where they just couldn't win series at all. I don't even know how many times they got swept, if even, like, I think they got swept by the Red Sox. I'm not sure who else they got swept by, if anybody else, but I always felt like they always got one win in the series, but could never really win the series at all. Like, they didn't have like a strong chance to do it. They've been doing it lately, so I just want to keep seeing them do that. And winning the rubber games are important as well. Especially today, you had your ace on the mound and you won, and he didn't even have his best stuff, but you still won for him. You backed up your pitcher, you backed up your ace. That's important. So, yeah, pretty much what I gotta say about that.
Yeah, I don't disagree, man. Do not disagree. What do you guys think about the Yankees trading for Candelario? Oh, we talked about Candelario. Lane Thomas has been playing good baseball. Lane Thomas would really like Lane Thomas. I think he would serve, like, Lane Thomas would be a really sick platoon for like Billy McKinney or Jake Bowers. That would be awesome. Again, he absolutely destroys left-handed pitching. Billy McKinney and Jake Bowers destroy right-handed pitching. Let me double check what Billy McKinney's numbers are against righties versus lefties. Pull that up for you. Sorry that I'm taking really long to do this. I should have done this when I saw the question, but I'm not always that well prepared, guys. I'm not perfect. Versus left-handers are, he actually has better. He has a 252 WRC plus against lefties, 167 against righties, but Jake Bowers I know is pretty bad versus lefties. So, could you have a situation where Thomas plays against lefties and these guys play against righties? Yeah. And could you win playoff games doing that? Yeah. I know it sounds silly, but yes, you can win. This sounds like, no, this would never be good for the Yankees in terms of their this does not sound like a World Series outfield, but Lane Thomas and Billy McKinney platooning in the outfield might be a World Series caliber outfielder. I can't believe I'm saying that, but hey, that's just where the Yankees are right now, right? I don't know what you think.
No, I mean, I agree. Having a platoon outfield of Thomas and McKinney or Bowers, that'd be fine. It would be a rather temporary solution to left field, but it would be something that is serviceable. It won't be like, oh my god, I can't watch these guys play left field. It's that bad. No, I don't think it would be like a doomsday situation. It'd be obviously it wouldn't be like the best thing in the world. The best thing in the world would be if it was Juan Soto out there or something. But it's something that'll be like serviceable and watchable, and it could be solid to do. Like you said, Lane Thomas mashes against lefties, Billy McKinney, Jake Bowers mash against righties. Be a solid platoon. It would be a pretty solid platoon to have. You can mix and match your options in the lineup too. It gives you more versatility and more leg room to work with when you fill out the lineup card. So yeah, I mean, I don't see why that would be a bad move at all. I wanted to add too, because you mentioned also a reliever like Justin Lawrence. I mean, they could always go after another reliever if they want. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. The bullpen's been shot as it is, so it can never hurt to go after another reliever. Do I think going after a reliever is a priority? No, I don't. But Won't be the worst thing. I don't know how well Lawrence is doing this year though, so that also that
I,
is the question I have to propose
I didn't want
because I
to.
don't know how he's been doing.
I didn't want to bring it up just yet because I was going to mention it on the side and like kind of like going a little tangent here because Justin Lawrence has walk issues, sure, um, but man, his stuff is so nasty. I'm going to send you something from that he threw, and I think you're going to concur with me, my good friend, about the nastiness of Mister Justin Lawrence, who has a really good sweeper, really good sinker. This would be like the Yankees. This would be like dream. Like I'd be so happy with this. I would be the happiest man on planet Earth, almost the happiest man on planet Earth. Let me see.
Yeah.
What's a good highlight?
If you send me something, my cell phone is charging, so I'll have to look at it in a bit.
All
But
right.
you can still send to me, and
Uh,
I'll give you
point
the
is,
feedback later on.
yeah, I will send. I was gonna send it to your Twitter, but I didn't know if you had. But you're right. It's not showing.
I could pull it up on my computer. It's just I'm
Yeah,
worried that it'll take
slow
a bit,
down.
and I don't want the stream to slow down or
Nah, I hear
crash.
you, dog.
I'm using a laptop, not a PC, so I'm just trying to play it safe with that.
Yeah.
But
So,
regardless, I have seen Justin Lawrence before. He's not a stranger to me. I just haven't like kept up with what he's been doing this season
oh yeah,
particularly. But
he's
I
got
do like his
303,
stuff.
302 ERA, I think.
Pretty
Yeah,
solid ERA. It's
and
obviously
that's in
not.
Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, it's in Colorado.
Good.
Obviously ERA in the
Shit.
threes for any reliever is never like a amazing thing to have, but it's pretty good. It's not like his ERA's in the fours or fives because then that would have been just like, yeah, stay away from that guy. But
Yeah, in
it's not the
Colorado, it's
case. So
actually a 58 ERA minus, so it's 42% better than league average. That's really good. This dude, you throw him in this bullpen, man.
that's pretty
I
good
think it
then.
costs a lot because he's still not arbitration eligible. I don't think the Rockies are ready to trade him, but if they somehow were, they somehow dumb enough to, dude, give me that bullpen. Give me those sinker sweepers for. Oh my
That'd be
god,
a pretty good option to
that
have in the
I'd
bullpen, man.
cry.
It would be
I'd
a really
cry.
good option.
I'd cry.
The bullpen's been as
I'd
shot
cry.
as it is, so you could always go after another reliever like him. Like I said,
Yeah.
do I think going after a reliever is a priority, a must need? No,
Nah, it's
but
not a
it's always
must need,
something.
but
But
is it
but it's always
icy?
something
Oh
you can
yeah.
do. It's always something you can do. Exactly. So it can never hurt to do that. Can never hurt.
I just looked at one of the sinkers he threw. It's just beautiful. This is a beautiful person right here. Look at, oh my god. Oh, it's
You're gonna
beautiful.
make him start posting.
I will cry.
Justin Lawrence
I'll
highlights
start
on his
crying.
Twitter.
I will cry midstream. I will cry. Nah, but moving on a little bit here. If I have a boy, I hope he's just like Bader. Well, I don't know. Just I want my kid to like not pull his hammy like every time. That would be. I don't want my kid in pain. But in terms of iciness, aura, ability to play the game, offensive skills, defensive skills, base running, looks, yeah. No, I mean Harrison Bader's like Harrison Bader. He's the New York Yankees starting center fielder. He's already made millions of dollars. He's good at baseball. He's not like a superstar, but he's really good at baseball. He plays like a superstar in terms of WAR when he's healthy. And he's 28 and he's fast as hell and he's extremely attractive. Like he's living the dream life, guys. He is living the life that I think everyone here who's a Yankees fan would want to have. This dude is balling. It's man, if it wasn't for the if healthy thing, because he'd be the perfect center fielder for us long term. It's just the injuries.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this stream has pretty much turned into a Harrison Bader appreciation stream, but rightfully so. He's freaking awesome. So you can't hate on the guy, you know. Like you said, he just brings a lot of energy to this Yankees team. He's a really good fit for this Yankees team. He's someone that they needed. Of course, when the trade happened for Montgomery, everyone was like, "Okay, why did we do that interesting move?" Da da da. It's been working. Yes, it's unfortunate that Bader is hurt and all. Is not hurt right now, obviously, but he's been hurt and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I think Bader's fit as a Yankee is very, very good. I think he fits right in. They needed a guy like him who is young, refreshing, has energy, is always amped up, always looking to get the team riled up. Like you said, he's fast. He just brings athleticism, very elite defense. He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch. It gives the Yankees another fun player to watch alongside guys like Aaron Judge and, when Stanton's on, Giancarlo Stanton and guys like that. It's a fun addition, and I really like him as a Yankee. I wonder what they're gonna do with his extension stuff or his free agent stuff, whatever it comes down to. If it wasn't the injuries that was such an issue, I would have said you should extend him right now. But the injuries is the one
I
thing
think
that
he'd be already
sways me away.
extended.
So
I think if he was injury prone, they would have already extended him today. He'd already be extended.
you're probably up, and you know what? And you know what? You're probably absolutely right. They probably would have already done it and not wasted any time. But the injuries is the one thing that is probably keeping them away from doing it. and reasonably so. You don't want to invest too money into a guy that can't stay on the field, but we'll just have to see what happens with the rest of the season. If Bader's able to stay healthy, maybe the Yankees will really consider it, give him a decent amount of money, keep him around as a Yankee for a few more years, stick him around with Aaron Judge for a long time. So I'm just gonna see how it goes. But I'm really hoping that he can stay healthy and stick around because that would be the most ideal scenario. I love Harrison Bader,
Yeah,
so
it's my dog. It's my son. Some would even say it's my dog. But what I mean, this is gonna be a really interesting conversation in the offseason, I feel like too. I feel like this is gonna be one of those things we talk about a lot. I think this is one of those things that gets dragged out a good bit too. I don't think the Yankees are gonna have a decision on Harrison Bader 2 months in. I think we'll learn in like January. I think it'll be a big talking point of the offseason. And we'll have people on one side or the other. And I'm very excited to see where people stand on it because it's going to be tough. It's not an easy decision. It's really not. But hey, we'll wait and see on that front. I'm really excited to definitely keep those conversations going because I think those are super nuanced. Garrett Cole wasn't necessarily amazing today, but he still kept us in the game today. Props to Cole. Yeah, I felt like he didn't have it. And somehow he was able to get through that Texas lineup. They made him work. They took swings off of him that you would look at that line and say he gave up 8 runs today. Garrett Cole had like the Mariners start where he gave up like 6 runs in the first inning last year. No, that's not what happened. He went out there and he shoved. He left everything on the mound. He did not. I think Garrett Cole's done a lot better at figuring out how to get through a baseball game without having it. I think he's done that multiple times this year. I think that, we're finally seeing him not mature because he's a mature dude, but I don't know what the word for it is. Finally, like just pitch sometimes, not always, not that saying he doesn't know how to pitch, but like, I feel like there's a sense of like, I have more confidence that Garrett Cole is going to keep me in a baseball game than I did last year. And I was already pretty high on him last year, even though the ERA wasn't necessarily there. What do you think about his performance today?
no, yeah. I mean, yeah, he wasn't great today, but like I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, he kept us in the game, and he grinded through a very very tough Texas lineup, a literal gauntlet of a lineup, and he battled through. They made him work. He threw well over 100 pitches in less than 5 innings, but he grinded through. He gave us as much length as he could. He gave us everything he had in the tank. Once he didn't have it in the tank anymore is when they took him out. When the bullpen came through, held it down for him. Uh, Pretty much just simple as that. I mean, he obviously didn't get like shelled. He didn't like do amazing either. He didn't like, shove every inning that he pitched, but he did good enough to where we were able to stay in the game and come through late and have that big late inning rally and win this ball game. And I applaud Garrett Cole for that. That's all it really is. He grinded through and he stuck with it. He didn't fall apart when it got bad in the second inning. He stuck through. He tightened up and he gave him what he got, and he did a pretty good job for what it's worth. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm just proud. I'm just proud that he's doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? So, I'm glad. I'm glad. And I just want to make sure that we have a guy like Garrett Cole, healthy, good, just continuing to do what he's doing consistent all year. And maybe getting Carlos Rodon will just boost that staff just enough to get them on a run here. But with that being said, moving on a little bit here, we got Brett Alexander. I think this is his first comment that we've read off today. Hope you're having a good one, Brett. Swing decisions. Us old school non-sabermetric baseball guys call it having plate approach. He has no approach other than to swing out of his shoes. It gets old because that's New York Yankees way. I really do think that I think that a lot of concepts that are considered like analytical are just ways to quantify things that have always been true in baseball. I feel this way about hard hit rate. I feel this way about exit velocity. I feel this way about launch angle. And yeah, so that's how I feel. But I think Volpe's approach to the plate just got to get a little bit better. That's all. It's got to get a little bit better. If he goes up there with a little bit more of a plan, his swing's pretty good. His speed's really good. If he gets that walk rate up, if he gets that strikeout rate down, I think he'll be a really good hitter. I see it. I believe in it. I think he can do it. He's a really good base runner too, but he's got to go up there knowing what to look for when he's swinging. And I'm glad that that's the issue. And it's not like, oh yeah, he has no power, or like, yeah, no, he can't barrel the ball consistently. It's like, no, he can do those things. He's just not making good swing decisions. That feels like a maturity thing that can be fixed. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we're pretty lockstep on that, Dylan, unless you have anything to add.
No, we're lockstep on that completely. I'm a good old school type guy. I'm intrigued in the metrics and all that stuff, but I've been watching baseball since I was 6 years old, so of course I know some of the old school terminologies and the old school ways to describe a hitter or pitcher's way they're playing the game. But yeah, I mean I agree. Just improve the approach to the plate, improve those swing decisions. I use both terms here for everybody. But anyways, with that being said, just improve all that stuff and come out there with a better approach. Come out there just being more confident, being relaxed. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Just do your thing. Make the pitchers work. Make the pitchers give you a pitch to hit. Don't help the pitcher find him pitches to strike you out. No, make the pitcher give you something to hit, something in your wheelhouse, something that you want, somewhere in the strike zone that you want to hit it. Simple as that. It's as simple as that for Volpe. And I know it may sound easier said than done. It's a tougher thing to kind of just transition to it and say that, oh, I'll just do this and then actually do it in game. I know it's an adjustment period, but I have confidence Volpe can do it. Just got to be better. It's as simple as that. He's looking better, so I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're starting to see it just a little bit. Do I think we're at the final product yet? No, absolutely not. I think this is kind of the start though of like, you know, a better approach, a more mature approach, more relaxed, just better baseball. I think we're starting to see it a little bit. I feel like we are just a little bit. Do I think it's something substantial? No, but it's definitely a bit of a change. It's definitely a little bit. There's definitely something there that I'm noticing. So simple as that. Just keep it up. You
Yeah,
know,
no, for sure.
keep it up, and the
Um,
results will come. It's as simple as that.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely. And with that being said, I think we can not close the book on the Volpe discussion because I think there'll be some interesting comments maybe that provoke or point out some interesting holes in either of our arguments. But I think that for now we'll be able to. I think we got a lot of good takes out on Volpe. I think we had some pretty healthy discussions coming off of today, especially because I think end of the day we're always trying to look for him to do better. Always want to make sure we're keeping up. We're not being overly optimistic or overly pessimistic. So I think we do a good job balancing that out. I think there's a pretty good conversation with him. So or not with him, but about him. Conversation with Volpe would be trippy, dude. But with that being said, Kevin Madden says Torres is either what's LD. I know ADD is like it's like an attention disorder, but I don't know what LD is. I don't want to speculate on the mental health of players based on not making good baseball decisions. I think that, that's a little bit much, but I'm not really going to speculate on that. I don't know. Not going to speculate on that. So I think we're going to move on here. Hello, Roberto Veloz asks, hello, I just tuned in, but did anything happen with Donaldson today? Is he gone yet? Love the chain, Ryan. Appreciate you loving the chain. We're going to be keeping these on for Yankee wins. So I got it at the stadium. Shout out my boy Dre.
Is this now our win chain? Is
This is
that
my
what it
victory
is now?
chain. Oh yeah, this is the
It's our
victory chain.
victory chain.
Yeah.
So when we take losses, we're not going to see that now.
No
Is that
victory
what, is that
chain.
what
No
I'm saying?
victory chain. No victory chain on losses.
You heard
I
it here
hope
first,
to.
man.
I hope to wear
The
this
victory
6
chain
straight
is in
nights.
full effect.
Hope that we
You heard
hope
it
to
here
have
first,
this
man.
on 6 straight nights against Oakland and
The
the
victory
Cardinals.
chain is in full effect.
Yep. No, definitely. Ready to rock. But Donaldson, nothing happened with him. He was good. Not good. He's still here. He's doing all right, I imagine. Him and Booney had a little conversation. He and Boonsky had a little talk. But it seems he's
As of
still
this
here.
day, he's still on the roster, so
Which I don't think he
just
will
take
be
what
for
we
much
get.
longer.
I don't think so either, but he is right now, so we just take what we get and wait and see what happens in the next few weeks. Because who knows? Like I said this earlier in the stream, and I'll say it again. Maybe the talk they had today will indicate something that'll happen in the future, a couple weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to see. It could indicate something. It might not. Maybe it'll be absolutely nothing, and it'll be a non-story. Maybe it does mean something. We don't know. We don't know. We can only speculate because we know so little about it, and we will know so little about it forever. We're not going to know the details of what went in that conversation prior to Boone's press conference. We're never going to know. They may say, "Oh, just some baseball stuff." That's all they're going to tell you. That's all they're going to tell you. They're not going to lay down specifics. They're not going to do
Yeah.
that. So
And I just wanted to, I know I'm skipping a lot ahead here, but this is something I thought was interesting that I wanted to discuss.
go for it.
Because a lot of that is like Heimer Candelario, like the Glaber play, the stretch coming up, which was like relevant to conversations we had and things we did talk about. And I feel like sometimes when I'm scrolling through the comment section, I'm kind of going through it, looking for each single one for questions, and most of the time the reactions or just chipping onto the conversation we just had. So I'll do a better job managing the chat in those situations. Shawn Michaels says the Yankees are the fourth best team in the East. It's the Orioles division for the next decade. Volpe would have a way worse season if he wasn't in Yankee Stadium. First off, let me get to this first point here. The Toronto Blue Jays have not finished ahead of the Yankees in the standings in a while, since 2016. I don't think that's a team I'm looking at saying, okay, you have to assume this team is going to outplay the Yankees. The Rays have earned the reputation that if the Rays are going to win this division, the Rays should be respected as the best team in the American League East. The Orioles, I think, are good. I want a little bit more sample size before I say they're definitively better than the Yankees. I don't know how they match up in a postseason series. I think that's important too. There's a five game separator for the Yankees behind the Orioles. And I think that matters. So 5 games with plenty of time to go. The Yankees can outplay them 5 games. Probably. I think they can. Will they? We'll have to wait and see. What are your thoughts on where the Yankees stand in the American League East right now? I think 2 or 3 is the spot.
Yeah, 2 or 3 is the spot. I still think the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays. Consider this too. The Blue Jays have had these like rather disappointing seasons, or the past 2 seasons they barely scratched the wild card spot, and right now they're in 4th place while being relatively healthy. They haven't had I know I'm not saying they've been 100% healthy. No, I know the Blue Jays lost Brandon Belt for a bit. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's back or not. I haven't been keeping up, but I know he got hurt at one point. He was one of their more impactful hitters at one point. So yeah, it's a big loss. But at the same time, the Blue Jays have still had their stars and Vladdy Guerrero, Bo Bichette, Dalton Varsho, George Springer. Yes, I know they lost Lourdes Gurriel to free agency, but they still have had decent players. Compare the Yankees lineup to the Blue Jays lineup right now, and you'll probably say the Blue Jays lineup is 10 times better than the Yankees lineup right now, right? But the Blue Jays still can't find a way to win games. They still can't find a way, whatever it is. They have good pitching too. Chris Bassett's in that rotation. Jose Barrios, I heard, is having an all right season. I don't know what happened to Alek Manoah. That's just an albatross.
Pack watch.
Yeah, that's just an albatross with Alek Manoah. But Kevin Gausman too. I can't forget about Gausman. He's been good. He's good as well. Jordan Romano in the pen. I know he's not having the same lockdown year he had last year, but
Pack watch.
Yeah, Ryan is loving the Alek Manoah stuff.
Alek Manoah. What? No, seriously. Like, Alek Manoah. Dude, I got so much crap on Twitter for the Alek Manoah thing. I was like, he's not good. And they were like, oh, he's good. What are you talking about? He had a 2 ERA. They got shelled the postseason. I was like, fuck yes. I was hell happy. And then this dude decides to get torched this year. So now he's bad. But yeah, sorry. I know I interrupted there. I apologize. Just
no, man. Hey, man, let it out, man. It's part of the team. So
it's my PTSD from getting smoked on Twitter.
No, but anyways, my point was basically just to say the Yankees are the 4th best team in the East is just not true. And it's also not the Orioles division for the next decade. It's still going to be like the Orioles will compete for it probably the next decade, but the Rays and the Yankees are still going to be up there every year competing for it as well. So to say it's a lock that the Orioles division is theirs now, no, I won't go that far just yet. I want to see more for the Orioles before I draw conclusions, but to say that they're worse than the Blue Jays, though, that's just not true. Their Yankees are better than the Blue Jays. They're better. The Blue Jays may have the better team on paper right now, but the Yankees find a way to win games and the Blue Jays don't. So what else can I say about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't disagree with you.
And I want to reiterate too. I don't think the Blue Jays are an awful baseball team. No, they're a good team. They're Ryan will say they're an awful team, but realistically speaking, they are a good team. But the Yankees are better. They're better. That's what I gotta say. I'm not afraid of the Blue Jays. I'm not.
Bring it on, Canada. I'm sorry. I don't care if this ages poorly. I'm just not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, Canada, you want that smoke? I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Canada, I'm scared of the smoke. Who's scared of Canadian smoke? I mean, let me take that back because my entire state was affected by Canadian smoke. But the most Canadian smoke that I've ever been scared of was literal fire smoke. I ingested that and almost passed on the train on the way back. By the way, in the midst of making a 3-0 comeback, just wanted to say that. Add on to the Chronicles here. Someone's gonna put this together. Someone's gonna crack the code here. One of us is gonna slip. We're gonna crack the code. And someone's going to figure out what I'm hinting at every time I'm had a good day today, went to the stadium, 3-0 comeback, put up an insane game from 3. I don't know.
Put up Wilt numbers.
Yeah. All I'm saying is we might be in game 7 soon. We're up 5 with a minute to go in game 6, down 3-2. That's the score. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't think I'm really that scared of the Blue Jays. They have to do it first. They have to prove it to me. They have to do something to prove it to me. Are they capable? Sure, but I don't think they're that right now. But yeah, moving on a little bit. I think that was a little bit of a fun, like, we get to sit here and kind of, be like Yankee fans and like put down other teams for fun. I always feel like that's always a little fun. Every Yankee fan's got that in them. We got the WFAN fan in us. Let's see. Oh, John says, "Yo, what's good, guys? How you doing? I hope you're having a good time. Listening while at work." Oh, man, he's locked in the grind. He's plugged in. This is how you got to be in life, guys. You got to be plugged
That's
in
a
with the
loyal
Yankees.
viewer right here, man. That's
plugged in with the Yankees. And to be plugged in with the Yankees, you got to be plugged into Fireside Yankees. So subscribe, like, comment, turn on post notifications. All of our Instagrams, our Twitters, TikTok, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page, audio version of this podcast on Spotify and Apple Music. So if you want to be plugged with the Yankees at work, at school, well, school's out, but maybe you take summer classes, in the gym, in the lab, maybe you have a lab like me, which is just your room that you call a lab and no woman ever wants to step in it. But you can be locked in at all times hearing us talk about the New York Yankees. We got podcasts all the time. We got prospect reports all the time. So stay tuned in. Thank you, John, for tuning in from work. Bring up what happened in 2018 if you're right. That team was so good, but they just happened to run into a really good Red Sox team.
He said not to bring it up.
Oh, right, you're right. Let's see where the Rangers at is in September. I agree, but that team's got guys like that. Like Marcus Semien is just good at baseball. I'm not too it's not like bad players being good. It's young players and star players playing out of their minds. I think they'll slow down. I think they're slowing down a little bit. They were like right there at the Rays, the best record in baseball, and now they've kind of lost steam there. But I think that's a really good baseball team. That's where I'm at with them.
Yeah, the Rangers are a good team. I'm starting to think it's not a fluke. At the beginning of the season, you could argue maybe it's a fluke and that they'll level off. We're almost halfway through the season and they're still mashing and they're pitching very, very well. I think they have the second best starting ERA in the American League. They're a legit team. The Rangers are legit. They're a very good team. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on it.
Yeah, I hear you. Agreed. Not afraid of the Blue Jays whatsoever. Targeting, July 5th is the day. That's against the Baltimore Orioles. You never know. Montas 6-starter for insurance. Clark Schmidt's my 5-starter. I finally won. Like I'd be like, Clark Schmidt's my 5-starter. G5 the flight. I honestly, I know this sounds silly, but I'm so proud of that edit I made of the G5 the flight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think Clark Schmidt as my 5-starter would make me the happiest man in planet Earth. G5 the flight, bro. Can't even see me. I'm way out of here. I'm like, come on, that song's a banger. I wonder if I get copyright striked for like saying that. Because you can't sing. I don't know if you can sing certain songs. I think it'd be like a copyright thing. I don't know. But this rotation would be fire. I think they could use an arm, but we'll see on that front. Donaldson is a cancer. DJ team guy. So yeah, it'll be DJ. DJ's gonna stick around. If it'd take a lot for the Yankees to say no, you're so bad that we'd rather have Donaldson. Maybe you disagree with me, Aki, but I don't really see it. What do you think?
DJ's gonna be the long-term piece. Simple.
Yeah, just
we talked about it earlier. Donaldson's the odd man out. So
yeah, that's how it feels. It doesn't feel the versatility too. Like it doesn't feel like it's the right baseball move. I feel like it'd be harder to explain DJ. He has more years of control. It's so much harder to explain DFAing DJ than it would be DFAing Donaldson, I think. And I think that plays a role in this 100%. Too. Even if you think one of the players is better than the other player, which I don't think is true, it's harder to explain. And that's very important when we're having a baseball conversation about who's got to go and who's to stay. Exactly. Trevor says, I think Donaldson will stat pad versus Oakland, try to do the same again versus St. Louis. Well, stat padding, I mean, if he's putting up runs, I don't care if he's stat padding. I just need to see something from him. I'm not rooting for Josh Donaldson to have to get DFA'd. If Josh Donaldson didn't get DFA'd, that means something really good happened. Or maybe someone got hurt. But like the world where he doesn't get DFA'd because of performance tells me he's playing better. If Josh Donaldson's good, that helps the Yankees. I want Josh Donaldson to play well. I don't care that I don't want to be right about him being terrible. That's not what I want. I just think he's bad. And if he's bad, it is what it is. But if he has a big series against Oakland, a big series against St. Louis, suddenly do we start having a conversation? I don't know. But, Dylan, do you think, I think this is also kind of a stretch for him to kind of get going. Oakland, St. Louis do not have good pitching.
Yeah. It'd be the best time. If there was any time for Donaldson to figure it out, it's right now because you're facing the A's and Cardinals, who Neither team has good pitching. So that this would be the chance. Now, will Donaldson get to play a whole lot? I don't know. I think it really depends on, like, let's say he's in the lineup on Tuesday and he puts up an 0-4, then maybe he won't be in the lineup again the rest of that series. I don't know. But if he does play, this would be the best chance for him to figure it out. Simple as that. You're facing teams with bad pitching. You pounce on that. Simple. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. No, don't disagree. Just get something going here.
yeah.
You know?
Simple. Figure it out. Now is the chance because clearly your time's running out. So figure it out now before you do anything else. Like, simple as that. Because if you can figure it out, it's a plus for this Yankees team. It's always going to be a plus if you can figure it out. So,
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. We just need offense, man. We need bats. We need bats. But with that being said, DJ driving the ball to right center was nice to see. Yeah, no, I thought he had a good day at the plate today. He almost left the yard with some of those. So hey, what do DJ being good would help this team. You think DJ can maybe get to league average?
I mean, he could. But, I'm encouraged what he's been doing lately. He had the double the other night that he pulled down the left field line, and then today he had the one to right center. Clearly, he's doing something better with his approach at the plate. It may not be may not be a substantial thing, but, we're seeing it. So just keep it up. You can become a serviceable hitter again, and you take it from there. And like you said, maybe he can become league average again. Maybe he can actually become worth putting in the lineup every day instead of having to sit him on the bench and putting IKF over him. So we'll take it from there. But I'm definitely encouraged by what I'm seeing of him late. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing of him of late. So
Yeah, and I think
I just don't want to get a reason to be discouraged. That's the main thing.
Right.
I don't want to have a reason to be discouraged.
The way I
I don't
view
want.
this is sorry, no, go ahead. Finish your point.
No, basically, all I was gonna say is just like I don't want to feel led on. I want to see what DJ's doing right now as a continuing trend of actually putting better at bats, putting the ball in play, and not grounding out, hitting it into gaps and getting base hits into the outfield, driving in runs. I want to see that. I don't want to feel led on by what I saw this weekend. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, don't want to
that's
be.
what I gotta say.
I want to know. You know what I mean? I don't want to quote Charles Barkley because the quote he had was very AO, but I want the whole. Was it who said that? It was someone, an NBA person. You remember that?
Yeah,
let me
no,
see if I
I
can
do.
find the
I do.
quote.
It was Paul Pierce.
Oh right,
It was Paul Pierce.
dude. That. Oh my god, dude. I'm tired of getting just the taste. I want to. Love this quote, but that's what we need with DJ LeMahieu here, guys. We need DJ a little back, DJ Le Clutch, whatever it has to be. I'd be annoyed if they DFA'd McKinney or Barrison Donaldson. Okay, IKF's a team guy. He has a 70 something. Oh wait, we were talking about that was the Donaldson IKF conversation earlier. This is about Peraza and Heimer Candelario and then Duhar when I mentioned him briefly. This is interesting. Okay, if we don't sweep this, I think we'll be fine. I think it's if you can't win 5 of these games, you're like, dude, what the hell's going on?
If you go like 2-4 in these next 6 games, then
Yeah,
you can start to question what
I'd fight
they should do
somebody.
at the deadline. You can start to question what they should do at the deadline if they do that. If they go 5-1, we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot to add. So
yeah, for sure.
if the trade deadline was right now, we'd be buyers, not sellers. But if if we go like 2-4 or God forbid like 1-5 in these next 6 games, then you could start to question what they should do with the deadline. You could It's definitely reasonable to start thinking about it. Is it reasonable to draw a conclusion? Maybe not yet, but it is reasonable to consider certain things that I don't want to reach. I don't want to get into that territory where we have to blow up the entire roster and rebuild. I don't want another 2016. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think ultimately you don't want to be in a situation where we're having this. We don't want to debate this. We want it to be very clearly buy. That means the Yankees are playing well. 2021 was the year where you're like, are we going to sell? And that was not a fun time because he felt like they were one.
Yeah, 2021 was 2021 was not fun too. When Jeff Passan was literally on ESPN in 2021 talking about whether or not the Yankees should trade Aaron Judge.
Yeah, that was scary. That would have been 1.5 years without Aaron Judge.
That was a scary time because that was a scary time because when I saw that, I remembered too. It was on July 4th. It was the Mets doubleheader day. The second game was a Sunday night ESPN game, and Jeff Passan was on TV pregame They were discussing whether they should trade Aaron Judge, and I started thinking like, please don't trade Aaron Judge. Please
Yeah, there
don't
was a
trade him.
time it was like for like Dylan Carlson or like Trent Grisham.
Like that was a
Good
scary
God.
time, low
Those would
key.
have been.
That was a scary time.
This is why you don't trade
I don't
players
want to
like
ever
that.
get into that.
Dylan
Yeah.
Carlson has never been a star player. Trent Grisham's not a star player. I mean, dude, imagine if the Yankees made a trade like that, where they're like, all right, let's trade for one of these young outfielders. This is why you can't replace it. This is why Aaron Judge got paid by the Yankees. This is why the Yankees did everything to keep him. So,
Yeah. He's a Yankee for life. He's meant to be here. He's not meant to be anywhere else.
Yeah, no,
Almost
and
landed in San Francisco and it didn't work out that way, so
I
he
would have
was meant
cried
to be his
myself to
Yankee.
sleep. No, I agree.
For food for thought, this is what we'd be watching every single day if Aaron Judge was a Giant. So,
yep. But yeah. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I don't even want to think of a world without Aaron Judge, but hey, it's fine. I miss Brett Gardner. Brett was awesome. He was a really good Yankee. So, really good left fielder. So yeah,
yeah, Brett Gardner should have never left. I should have never left, but whatever, man. Sometimes it's just your time, and it was for Brett Gardner, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
man, I
I
miss him.
disagree. But yeah, I don't know. With that being said, though, Brett Gardner was a fun Yankee, so he will always be a good Yankee. I think a lot of people underrate him. But with that being said, Trevor Alley says the BAPIP gods will probably smile on JP Sears and all those Yankee fans who said Sears was Andy Pettitte 2.0 when they were shut up about how could he pitch against us. Meanwhile, it would all be luck. Yeah, I'm feeling a JP Sears like wins on the most, like walks 3 guys, strikes out 2, gets barreled up all game, has like second and third, 1 out, line drive out, and then a pop up, and you're like, dude, that line drive should have been like a home run or a double. That we're definitely getting one of those games. I don't know if we'll win that game. I don't know if we'll lose that game, but we're getting one of those games, and I'm not very excited for that. So yeah, I felt like the Yankees,
That's how it works sometimes with this team.
especially a former Yankee,
Oh, yeah.
Yankee.
Oh yeah. It's bound to be that way. And I apologize. I think my dog is barking, and some of you guys might be able to hear that. But with that being said, yeah, it's bound to happen that way. It's bound to. We're so used to it. So yeah.
I know for sure. Trevor also says if the Cardinals will take at least one game against us, they're a good offense. That's a high variance team. I could see you getting down early. I could see how that happens. I'm not like, oh my god, it's impossible for them to lose to us. But it's
that's why I said like 5-1 is realistic, because
yeah,
like,
I can see how that happens.
You should sweep the A's, but if you drop one to the Cardinals, then you drop one to the Cardinals, because the Cardinals have a good team. Like I said, they have Arenado and Goldschmidt on that team. Paul DeJong kills us for some reason. So they got guys like that can hit. So if they drop one to the Cardinals, I wouldn't be sitting here acting like it's a shocking thing. I'd be more shocked if they lose a game to the Oakland A's. That'll be shocking. That'll be like, okay, really? Why are we losing to the A's?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, definitely. No, I don't want to lose to the A's, man. I'd flip my fucking mind if we lost to the A's. I know the Rays lost 2 games to the A's, but they're going to win the division. We can't lose 2 games to the A's. I will get upset if we lose 2 games to the A's. I will not be very happy. But is what it is. I'm not going to get upset about something that hasn't happened. Boone will manage his trip to a 4-2 or 3-2 record, just like his decision to bring Donaldson off the bench, just to be totally overmatched. Yeah. So, Boone, I think, is not causing the Yankees to underperform. I think that's more than a fair take. I think it's the correct take. He is not why the Yankees have struggled in the slightest. He isn't perfect, 100% not perfect, but being perfect isn't the only way to be good, or being perfect is the only way to be a good manager. He's a good manager. He does his job right. Most times the Yankees underperform because of the players. If he was a bad manager, he'd be gone by now. That's the way I view it. That's the way I view it.
I blame the roster construction over Boone every single time. Every single time. Just look at the offense right now. Is Boone up there hitting? No. So, with all, to defend Boone a little bit, is only so much he can do with the pieces he was given. He was given this roster and told, all right, here's your team. Now you got to manage it. So, it's up to the players then at that point to perform. And yes, Boone has made questionable decisions. I'm not going to sit here and act like he hasn't. There are questionable decisions he's made both this year, last year, every single year he's been the Yankees manager. But like you just said, it's not his fault that, entirely that we're struggling right now, or not necessarily struggling at this moment, but like you get the point. Like this month has been rough. It's not strictly because of Boone. No, it's more the offense than anything else. Anything else doesn't carry any more weight than the offense does, because the offense has been the main core reason why this month has been so treacherous and just abysmal and just bad. So yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. And end of the day, I feel like Boone. It's the offense, man. Like Donaldson, Boone can't make Donaldson do something, and he hasn't played since. So there's that. I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and get mad at Boone over these things, man. I don't know. I have a hard time doing that. I feel like that's just unfair. I feel like that's just getting mad to get mad, and that's not what I like to do. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you feel a little differently. Um,
no, not really. I second everything you said. So
yeah. But with that being said, I do have to wrap up soon because I'm gonna have to go eat dinner and kind of get to my night routine. Um, but we'll get going in about 10 minutes. That's cool with you? Good with you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We're almost at like an hour, and we're gonna be at like an hour and 45 minutes anyway. So I thought that's a pretty good stream in terms of length. And let you guys and kind of let Sunday come to a little bit of an end here as we enter the week. 6-0 changed the mindset of this team. Yeah, it does. It does. Speaking of
simple.
Boone, I thought Boone managed a great game today. Boone pulled Cole when he should have pulled. Cole should not have stayed in that game. I'm glad he pulled Cole. That one batter, he's got a chance to get that one more batter, and that's it. Right? You give him enough length to let him get out of it, but not enough to let him ruin the game for you. I thought that was excellently done. I thought he did a really good job of, bringing in the right guys, knowing when a guy's day is done, trusting King at the end there. I thought that was the right call. I thought that you use the other guys in high leverage and you just give King a clean inning. I thought overall he did a really good job. I don't know what you think.
No, I 100% agree. You know, like you said, he brought in the right guys. He didn't keep calling too long. He took them out when he should be taken out. You give him the last batter because you feel like you have a chance. He's still pumping 99, but gave the hit, and he said, "All right, I don't want this to get worse. I'm taking him out." He brought in Cordero. He shut it down. The bullpen did its thing, and what you said, most importantly, trusting Michael King. At some point you got to get Michael King right, and this was the chance that Boone found to get Michael King right. And sure enough, Michael King looked excellent today. Yeah, Michael King gave up the one hit, and yeah, he threw a couple balls and didn't have the best command in the world, but he's facing some tough hitters, man. He had to face Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, and Adolis Garcia. That is an insane 1-2-3-4 right there that he had to face. And Michael King locked it down. He struck out Simeon, he got Seager to fly out, he gave the hit to Lowe on 2 strikes, and then he struck out Garcia to end the game. So I mean, what can I say? I mean, King was good, and it was right on Boone to trust him because, like I said, you gotta get him going at some point.
Yeah, no, it's got to be at some point. King's really important to this bullpen, especially with the injuries. But if they can get it done, if King can get it done, I think they'll do a really good job. But with that being said, we'll move on a little bit here. Yes, he did bring in a good manage a good game today. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really watch a specific moment. I know it wasn't great, but I understand. I'm not upset that Josh Johnson is in against a lefty. I think that's the right call. Billy McKinney's a career bad hitter versus lefties. I defended this. I defend the decision. I don't care if I look stupid for it. I
Yeah,
defend the position. I'm
look,
going to defend
I
that.
was someone who was kind of against it, just because Donaldson has been clearly lost the plate entirely. So I was a little bit against it. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but at the same time, I do understand why some may defend the move and justify it, because there was a lefty out there, and you probably don't want a lefty hitting against a lefty in a situation we need a run. I just think taking out McKinney was a weird time, just because McKinney has been like the main piece that's been clicking offensively this entire time that Judge has been gone. So I feel like you should be able to trust McKinney in that situation to get you a big hit. But whatever, I mean, it happened. There's nothing we can do about it now. You can't change the past. It happened, and like you mentioned, Donaldson hasn't played since. So Boone probably was like, "All right, let me see what you could do right here. Prove me that you deserve to go back in the lineup." And he did not prove anything. So he's not in the lineup. So
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. But the way I view it is like Donaldson this year had a 163 WRC plus against lefties before that at bat. He had
And
been
that's fair. He's always been better against lefties his
yeah.
entire career, so it's fair to
I'm
defend
cool
bringing
with
him up
it.
in that situation. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it was the worst decision I've ever seen him make. I've seen him make worse decisions. It was a decision I didn't personally like, because I feel like you should trust Billy McKinney given what he's been providing. But at the same time, it's a lefty on lefty matchup. Those are always tough to predict, and those are always tough for the batter. So I understand. I get it. At the end of the day, it did not work. I expected it to not work, unfortunately, but you move on. It is what it is. It doesn't change my mindset about Boone. So
That's fair. No, I felt like that's the reason why, in my opinion, that it happened.
And you're probably absolutely right, and it's probably correct and all that stuff. But I felt a little bit differently about it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I do see both sides to it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, it makes absolutely zero sense. This, that, like, to me, it made very little sense. Yes, but there is rationale behind it technically. So the Yankee fan in me was like, why is Donaldson coming in the game for McKinney, who's been our best hitter? But like I said, logically, it technically is the right move, but given the circumstances, maybe I wouldn't have done that. But I'm not a
Yeah,
manager,
that's
so
fair.
I'm not a big league manager for a reason. I'm sitting here talking on a podcast for a reason. So yeah.
Hey, I'm willing to sit here and say that they could I can understand a decision. Doesn't mean that it's always the perfect decision, but I'm okay with as long as the decision can be explained. That's how I view it. I think that's where I want to make sure my manager
And
is
that's
at.
completely a fair point. That's a completely fair point.
Yeah. Because I know I will never. Oh, you can never 100% agree with someone, but if they can explain it, and you're like, okay, still don't agree, but okay, then that's the type of
Yeah.
manager I need to make sure I have that going. But
Yeah.
with that being said, you've got some comments here talking about. Let's see. Why haven't the Yankees promoted Wells to AAA? I have no idea. I can't take it anymore. And I'll never be happy. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan really
Yeah.
wants Austin Wells in AAA. I don't have much of a high stance on it. He probably should be in AAA though, to be honest. At this point, I don't have a super strong stance on it just because I haven't kept up a whole lot with it, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Just like I don't know. I don't know what their plans are for Wells. I really don't. So
Yeah, I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Wells, they gotta figure it out. I think they'll figure something out with him, but they gotta do it
well,
soon.
they got to at some point, man. They got to do it at some point.
Yeah. And moving on a little bit here, Devil's Advocate. This is about the previous conversation. If the bottom 10% of outcomes occur for the Yankees disastrous and they decide to sell, who would you sell and not sell? I think King, Holmes, Loizaga, Torres, Cortez, and Bader are all interesting. I think you keep Loizaga because he's hurt. You don't want to sell him on that value. I think Holmes stays. I think King stays. I think Holmes could get moved in that world. Torres could get moved in that world. Bader would get moved in that world. I think you keep Cortez and you keep Glib. You don't want to. I don't even know if you trade Holmes. I don't. I think you trade Holmes maybe. I don't even know. I think it'd be Wandy, not Holmes personally. I think it would be Wandy Peralta.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of agree there. I feel like that would be the
Yeah.
first guy. I feel like they have a pretty strong trust in Holmes to be kind of a main piece of the bullpen for a while. I don't know if I could say the same about Wandy though. So yeah.
Yeah, and Wandy Peralta is just not going to be here at the end of the season after this year probably, which sucks because the Yankees don't. I don't think the Yankees are going to pay him. Would they trade Canley? I don't think so. I think they want to stay in a position to compete next year. So I'm going to X out Holmes, maybe Torres. I'll X out Loizaga. I'll X out Cortez. I'll say yes to Bader, and I'll say yes to Torres. Say yes to Bader, Torres, Peralta, and I think they would consider moving like Herman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I second
but I
that.
don't think it would be
I
I don't
agree.
think it'd be core pieces of this team. I don't think it'd be pieces
No.
that would make this team significant, like are irreplaceable
You're
almost. Like it's
you're
not a
you're not
Carlos
gonna
Herman.
yeah, you're not gonna see like Aaron Judge or Stanton or Rizzo get moved in that situation. That would be like
Yeah,
doomsday. That'll be like
yeah,
doomsday.
no, definitely
That'll
not.
be like if we were in last place, 20 games under 500, absolutely nowhere competing. Washington Nationals with Juan Soto type situation. Yeah, we're not in that situation. So
Yeah, no, I believe we'll avoid that. But kind of to wrap up here, is there anything that stands out that I really want to talk about? Because we talked about the game, we talked about some stuff here. There's some WBC stuff, Trevor. I'd love to talk about the WBC. You know me, but trying to find some Yankee stuff to discuss. Just we can end on that high note. This is an interesting one. I think it's just an interesting question. If the Yankees was a postseason, what's your ideal World Series? I think this is kind of a fun question to end on.
I've been pretty firm on this for a bit. I feel like the Braves are gonna take it this year. I really do. The
Mm-hmm.
Braves, I really like what the Braves have. Maybe some will disagree. I like what the Braves have. They have a well balanced offense. They got guys clicking. Ronald Acuna Jr. is playing like an MVP candidate. Ozzy Albies is probably gonna be an all-star again. They got good pitching. Spencer Strider's been amazing. So I feel like they're the team to beat in the National League. I really do. I feel like this is the Braves' chance to do it again. I do. I'm pretty firm
I
on that too.
I agree. I think they're the best team in the National League. But I think my ideal World Series, I want to see the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I want to see the Arizona Diamondbacks. I want to see and I want to see. Let me think. Who do I want to see? I want to see Texas. I'm cool with Texas. Yeah, I want to see one of those.
Yeah.
I want to see Texas versus Arizona. That's my ideal World Series.
That would definitely be an interesting World Series and a fun one.
I think
Both teams
Braves
have
and
good
Atlanta would be
offenses, so-
fire too, because those two teams can hit. That'd be a high scoring series. They hit bombs.
Yeah. I feel like Texas and Atlanta would be fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I personally have been pretty firm on it for a while since we're talking since May. I've been saying the Braves are probably gonna take it this year, but it's a prediction, so I could be completely wrong, and the Braves could get knocked out in the first round, or they do make the World Series, and maybe they do win the World Series. But out of just all the teams available that I can think of, they're kind of my team to beat, the Braves. They're the ones that I would fear facing in the postseason the most, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
So it probably isn't fun to face Texas because of their offense.
No, it's
but
not.
Atlanta has the offense and really good pitching as well. I know Texas has good pitching, but Texas has a bad bullpen. I feel like that might haunt them just a little bit in October. Atlanta has pretty much they got a really good balanced team. They got a very good core right there, and they Sean Murphy's playing well as well. Like I said, Ozzy Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr. Austin Riley, of course, can't forget about him. They got a good team. They got a really good team. I like what they have. They're mine to beat.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think they'll get it. Hey, I think that the Braves are really good. But I like the D-backs. That'd be fun. I know D-backs.
Oh, yeah, no, I love it. Don't worry, man. I love what the Diamondbacks have been doing. Cincinnati Reds have been intriguing as well. They've been really fun since they called up Ellie De La Cruz. So, yeah, there's a lot. This is a very strange baseball season. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I mean, I don't think many people had the Astros, Dodgers, and Yankees struggling to cling on to wild card spots and playoff spots at this point in the season. But we like chaos, right? So we take it. We take
for
it.
sure.
Of course, I want
definitely.
at least not for the Yankees part. I want the Yankees to just steamroll the division. I want them to steamroll everybody. But everything else, we like chaos. So everything else, we like chaos. So non-Yankees aside. So that's pretty much where I am on it. So
yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a good place for us to end off here. So yeah, I mean, I had fun with this live stream. I'm glad we won the series. Hopefully we'll be not back at it tomorrow. There's no game tomorrow, but we'll be back on Tuesday. We're gonna figure out that situation with how the schedule is.
It's gonna be a little weird because of the Oakland series.
Probably just keep
West
them
Coast.
short.
They're gonna be starting games late, so if we do them, they'll have to be really short. But we'll workshop it. I know the third game of the series is an afternoon game, so that'll be a little easier to do. But the first two games, that's gonna be a little bit interesting. We'll figure that out. Though we'll workshop those things and get it solved. But one way or another, we'll at least get you alive about the Oakland series. At the very least, we'll get that. And the Cardinals series too, we'll get you live streams for those as well whenever we're able to do so. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
for
that.
For
sure. We'll keep you guys posted. We'll talk about it. So yeah, hope you guys have a really good night. Appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll see you guys the next podcast, stream, whatever it may be. Please follow our Twitters above our heads. And again, thank you guys so much. Peace out. Have a good one.